Hello,
Oh, hi.
how are you doing?
Good.
Hmm. Well, let's jump right in. Where are you right now on your resume? Where can I help?
Like last time, I asked for some metrics that can show the results of I that's results from my actions,
Yeah,
and I try to figure out the metrics. And the one that you mentioned is I can use the total addressable market as
yeah,
a metrics to show the results.
yeah.
So I copied the slide for the search engine that I made
Okay.
with him before, and the total addressable market is 4.6 billion. Can I just put the number here, or
Yes. Hmm.
should I put maybe some?
So what does the SOM stand for?
It's quite more narrow down. It's like what you can achieve for the first year.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, so typically we're working with the total addressable market.
Okay. So how do you think what should I write here?
Okay, so optimization, let's just take a look here.
Uh, it's for the next project for the
Okay.
influencer recommendation system engine.
Well, what about this?
This one, I don't have a result yet because this project will finish in this August.
That's fine, but the total addressable market is already knowable.
Oh, it's for the next project. It's for the digital marketing content placement ranking.
I understand. And I'm just asking you because this is the first one. I mean, here, I'm
Oh,
curious, is there any reason why you're not also taking time to
you mean I
figure?
need? Oh, okay, I get it. So I need to find another metric for the first school project. I do have that because I get the introduction slide from the company.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess what I would recommend, Jiaman, is to think about each of your bullet points here as a story that you would be willing to tell. And what would be part of that story? Well, hopefully you'll have some numbers to talk about when you talk about your experiences. So if you're going to take the time to develop an addressable market and find an addressable market figure for this opportunity, why not for this one as well?
Oh, okay.
Because what's the difference? Obviously, the situations are very different. I get that. But from the perspective of what you're trying to achieve as a job hunter, you're trying to put together a series of stories and examples that demonstrate you can achieve a result. So even if the result has not happened yet, you don't need the result to happen. You don't need the result to ever really happen because you can always be using numbers in terms of a potential market size or a potential savings or an expected return. So the actual numbers, whether they happen or not, actually don't matter, surprisingly.
Okay.
So I would say, good job finding that information. That can be really tough to find. So good job doing it. Do it for here. So digital marketing content placement ranking for, let's just say,
Dermatologist skincare products.
4.6 billion dermatology. So digital marketing, digital content placement. And I think we just, let's see here, digital marketing content placement ranking. Let's see here, analysis. Consulting. And since you're focusing on consulting and not specifically marketing, I'm not so sure that we need to go into such detail here. So what you might say is something like delivery of consulting recommendation for 4.6 billion dermatology product market. I think that's going to be more interesting to people because that's not going to isolate you as a digital marketer and let you tell a story that's a little bit different because you can talk about your consulting recommendation. And I would just say this is consulting recommendation. Consulting recommendation. And then in the detail, if they ask you, because a lot of firms might take a look at your resume and see, are you consulting focused or not?
Okay.
And they might just see that word consulting and conclude that you are going to get invited for an interview or you are a good fit or a match. Then in the details, we can talk about what kind of consulting you did. Because if you're open to the idea, you will see that there are all kinds of consulting. Now, you will be talking to management consulting firms primarily, but don't lose track or be open to the idea that you are already doing consulting. And I really do hope that for your personal branding and benefit, you can start to see yourself as a consultant. Okay?
Okay.
You already have consulting experience. You have experience in this project consulting a skincare products firm on their digital marketing. Is that true? Do you agree?
I think so, because this engine is provide like otherwise for the influencer
Right.
detection.
Yeah, like let's just go into, let's just define here briefly. I don't want to lose track too much of just what is, what is management? What is consulting? So, consulting is more than giving advice. So, but their point here is consulting can have different aspects, right? Providing information, solving problems, effective diagnosis. This looks like it's a very old article, but it might still be very relevant to understand kind of what consulting is or does. So you might, if you have time, you might consider this article. I'll put this into the chat. It's just the first thing that came into the Google search. I'm not saying it's the best one, but okay, Harvard Business Review article giving you a chance to think about what consulting is and is not. That might be a good thing to share with you. And what is consulting? What does consulting do? Consulting is a term loosely applied to providing business advice. Could be in a lot of different areas, right? Including marketing, information technology, operational improvement. So what I'd like you to do is not get stuck thinking that you are just a digital marketing person or you just have marketing experience. Don't get stuck there. Because for you to get hired in consulting, you need to convince people that you are a consultant
Okay.
in some way already. And I want you to also believe that. For you to be convincing in your discussions with people in this in this pretty bold move, which is reasonable. You're making a big shift here mentally to focus on the US market. I'm not saying you have to give up. You don't have to, if you still want to throw some resumes into some Chinese job fairs, that's okay. I'm not going to, argue with that, against that. But you definitely have a chance to get hired in the US market. But the biggest change that will happen isn't a change that any consulting firm will do. The biggest change to make is how you're thinking, and be open to thinking of yourself as a consultant already, because you're kind of walking on a stage when you do this job hunt. You're kind of performing. It's a little bit of a performance, and people want to see that you are willing to stand up and say, yes, I am a consultant, and these are the things that I'm doing. So start to think about, and the language of the resume is quite important, because the language of the resume is really the foundation for how we think and how we feel about things. So consulting recommendation for this market should be like this. And then for some reason, you've lost your bullet points, and I'm not sure why you've lost those, but we need to have bullet points for 1 or 2 bullet points, results, right? We talked about this before, by action taken. Okay, and then maybe another one, results by action taken. So what I'd like you to do is to go back and think about what you are going to say. And this is great. I'm glad you have all this here, right? I'd like you to provide me now with bullet points that are very as concise as you possibly can. I want you to do some work here to produce bullet points for me. Same thing, and for yourself. Same thing here for this one. This is good. Looks like you have the formation of a bullet point there. Formulated a project, projected 35 user growth rate by, good. Yep, that looks.
Yeah. That's another thing I wanted to cover with you, because last time I did contact with managers from the higher bids, and he cannot give me a specific number for the user growth. So I'm not sure what number should I put here. So I just make up a number here. And
that's fine. Have a reason to support it. I mean, if you have any data at all, like maybe, for example, from your memory at higher beat, you helped one account grow by 5%, or you have some recollection of something. This number doesn't have to be exactly correct, but what it does needs to have some support. So if someone does ask you how you got to that number, you're simply able to explain how you got to that number. Okay. So it doesn't have to be the actual number. It could be an estimate. That's okay.
I mean, it's really hard to get a number.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
How much what is that industry? That's career growth and the job market. So, you maybe call this estimated. And when you say formulated, I'm not sure what you mean by that either. Formulate. I'm not sure that's the right word here, because I'm not sure you're looking for that you created it, or that you devised it, or that you made it, or prepared it. I would say that you supported it, or supported estimated 35% user growth. And that's a rate already, growth, by evaluating. And again, if you look at the trainings, we don't use the or a or things like that. So evaluating by, this is again kind of wordy, by collecting market data, applying consulting frameworks. such as Porter's Five Forces. Again, consulting is a word we can put in there, and BCG matrix. All right. And conducted customer analysis. I mean, customer analysis is going to be part of these other things, so you don't really need to say that again. And then reported findings in PowerPoint to manager, fine. I think that's probably enough for that bullet point. And then this information is helpful, but not required. I just don't know. There's just a lot of additional words that seem kind of like the same and are also included in these different frameworks above. So I think that's probably your one bullet point from that experience.
Okay.
Okay. And then let's see here, marketing planner contributed to Abbott's. Again, I'm not sure why you lost your bullet points. What I don't want to see is that we're losing formatting or we're losing content every time we do a revision. I don't want to see us moving backwards.
Because I think there is only one sentence.
Okay, that does not matter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I like that. Very good. I would just call this 1.5, make it simple. Okay.
Yeah, and for the third bullet point, for the second school project about the consulting recommendation, for the third bullet point, do I need to mention the total addressable market?
Not again, not a second time. You already have it here.
Okay, so I just start with collaborating with a team.
Well, what was the result?
We develop a influencer recommendation system. I think that's the result.
Okay. Is there any reason why you could not have written that here before our meeting?
Yeah, I think I know how to fix it now.
Yeah. So I do want to challenge you a little bit because when in your job hunt, I really want you to get you thinking about coming to all of your conversations with a view or an opinion. And so just as we do the little things like the resume review, that also kind of tells us how we conduct our job hunt overall, like how we do the big things. So what I would love to see is if you're coming to me for advice, you're coming to me with a proposed solution here and a proposal that I can work with. So I think previously we had actually already talked about that and had typed out some content, and I didn't, and it looks like we have since lost that content.
I think that's content maybe not important, so I just delete them.
Well, that's the result. So maybe not. Okay, it looks like we're making progress. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Yeah, we had talked about developing the prototype. So so we don't want to be, we want to make forward progress in all of these conversations, not sideways progress. So let's look at, so delivered, and then like, I think you lost the language here. You lost that, there's the prototype. Delivered, content ranking prototype. And then the goal of that to drive, and then do we know anything about that, how that content ranking could help?
To optimize like marketing decision making.
Right, which would What's the purpose of optimizing the decision making?
Increase the efficiencies of the marketing campaign,
Which would do what?
increase profit.
Right. But I mean, like, I'm trying to get at a number. Like, so increase the efficiency in what way? Like, what is the KPI here? Are we trying to increase
Uh,
views by
yes,
35%? I mean, was there a goal here at all, or did you achieve any kind of improvement in the ranking? Did the prototype, did it have a goal of increasing the,
yeah, it's like can save the marketing specialist time to find the right influencers quickly. It's like save time and gets
and
a
time,
better result.
and so time is money. So 20%, so 20% in marketing costs. I mean, you might think about this. Think about what story you want to tell here, right? Is it, I just built a prototype and that's your story? Or can you be, if you're on stage and you're presenting yourself as again, because put yourself in the position of a consultant. Imagine you work at BCG or imagine you work at McKinsey and you go to a client and you say, yeah, we're going to help you make a proposal. Is that going to be very interesting? We're going to help you develop a prototype.
Oh,
And
so
then,
the metrics you show the
or
value of
would,
the works.
or if I'm the CEO of Lianhe and I'm going to hire a consultant and I'm comparing BCG or McKinsey, I'm going to pay one of them $10 million, but I don't know who. And then Lianhe they hear from BCG that I'm going to help you build a model that's going to help your business. But then McKinsey over here says, I'm going to help you build a model that's going to save you potentially 20% in marketing costs or $6 billion per year. Which would you like to hear?
McKinsey's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really need you to think about what you're doing now at a more sophisticated level, because you have the ability to do it. And think like if I was on stage, because if you're a consultant, you're going on stages all the time you're going on stages to talk to your clients. And don't be concerned about where you are now. You're doing just fine, but just recognize that that's kind of the direction that we're going here, is that, as you know, we're always on stage in some way, even if you're not a consultant and you're just working for another firm, not as a consultant, you're still there to deliver a result for people and to show them the benefits of what you're doing. So deliver digital content ranking prototype, digital marketing, content ranking prototype, projected to save, and then, think about that. Can you think maybe about what that might be? Like, what is the average time it takes? Maybe you could do a little research here on what the benefits of marketing content ranking are. Is there any benefit of digital marketing what if I just go here and just do some research on the benefits of content ranking? And what are the typical benefits of that? I'm not sure. I don't know right away. Digital market content ranking.
That means you can find the influencers that really match with your product.
Yeah. I mean, what are the benefits? What are the benefits of working with influencers in marketing? right?
Like have a larger voice on internet and gets more attention
Yeah.
from their target group, because influencers, they have different followers. If you find the right influencers, you will get the right customer to notice your product.
Yeah. And did that company ever work with an influencer? I don't know. You know, what are some of, in influencer marketing, what are some of the potential growth opportunities in terms of numbers? I'm not sure exactly in terms of the KPIs, right? Like if we look at the KPIs that might matter, this looks like it's from a university, the online MBA. But if you look at KPIs for, what are some of the KPIs of a successful influencer campaign? And, what did you have any goals for those? You can check out the content that I just sent to you inside the chat from this link. What are some of the goals? Because we're just trying to make maybe one nice bullet point here where you thought about it and you can convey something about that's as clear as possible. So deliver digital marketing content ranking prototype projected to do what? Or collaborated with team of 5.
Yeah, like some brands, they use this engine because they want to get higher sales, but some of them just want to get more brand explosions on internet.
Yep, true.
It's like brand awareness.
So you gathered user requirements, tested. Did you do these things?
That's a function, the benefit of this engine, but our job is to develop the engine. Like we actually make a model, a dashboard, so to show how user can use our engine to filter out the influencers that they want, and the search engine actually can generate some customized report to give an expectation for the return on investment for their. They actually not use return on investment. It's a different metric, but it's also show the return.
Okay. So you can figure that out. Whatever exactly the language is that you want to show there, you can think about that. And then did they actually, because this happened in May, did they actually use it? Have you talked to this company since? What did they think? Did they ever use it? What was the outcome?
Oh, okay. Yeah. They use EMV prediction.
Was that helpful to them?
I mean, it's one competitive advantage for this engine, because many engine like for influencer marketing, it's really hard to track the effectiveness of the investment. But if you use this engine, you can have at least some prediction for your investment.
Okay, so if this thing can predict investment return, and that's what you actually did, it should be possible to talk about some of the KPIs here. If you talk about creating customized reports to deliver projected returns on investment or projected KPIs, be be aware, be thinking about what those KPIs are. If you don't want to be clear about, if you can't be clear now, maybe you can be clear in a week or two. Maybe you could talk to the company that you worked with. This is probably a school project, so you could talk to your professor, you could ask your, if you have a contact at the company, you could ask them. Nothing wrong with asking them. So this looks fine as a bullet point. I'm okay with that. And then optimization of marketing channel. So consulting. And then optimization of marketing channel, decision engine. This is like a user experience type of thing here. So you know, okay, so go find out what Indigene's addressable market is. It's very good that you found the concepts there. Very proud of you for finding those concepts of like TAN and SON. I don't even know what those are. So good job. I mean, I know what TAN, total, I can understand what TAN is. And then result by action. So if in the previous, what I don't want us have to be doing is like if I'm creating like bullet points like that, let's not lose those, let's not lose that stuff that we added to the previous version. So result by action taken. Okay, so result by implementing a decision engine. Is this the action taken or the result?
It's the result. Our job is to develop this decision engine.
Okay, so you developed, all right. Did you implement or just develop?
I think the implement, it depends on our clients if they think our job is good or not. Because it's like they give this project to different group of students. I think they might choose one or maybe just want to get some insights from our works, I guess. Because they are in Nigeria actually quite large companies.
And how big is this organization? It was a startup, you said, right?
It's not a startup. Indigen, it's a quite large company in healthcare industries. It's a Indian-based company.
Okay.
Indigen.
And then how many sales and estimated their sales and marketing teams? How many? The team of 10? The team of 10 was your students. How many were in the sales and marketing teams?
We have 2 clients.
Okay. How many total salespeople?
I don't know that.
Can you find out or estimate?
Try to find some commercial engine. I do have the introduction slide. I guess I might find some information on that one.
And what were they trying to do? Generalize, what does it mean? What does it mean to take a variety of inputs at customer level and generate personalized actions? What does that mean?
That input is basically the customer database that they provide to us. And the personalized is like based on their based on the message difference, the content difference, and channels different. We give a different recommendation for the professional healthcare. But no, sorry, for the healthcare professionals to choose their channel to carry their marketing message. So it's customized. It depends on the what kind of products the professionals have. The input is a database, a customer database from Indigen that we use to build this engine.
Okay. Yeah. Develop the decision-making process to support a sales staff of 20 to what? I'm still trying to understand to do what? To make better decisions. Okay, but what kind of decisions?
Like what marketing channel and content to select for carrying the marketing message.
What channel? What do you, when you say channel, what do you mean by channel?
Marketing channel like email, Facebook, Instagram. It's different marketing channel you can use to deliver your message.
Right.
It's similar to the digital marketing.
Yeah, it could be just because I don't really understand marketing that well, but in the end, you do want to be able to explain this to somebody who is a consultant who might not know very much about marketing. And right now I'm kind of confused as to what you did here.
It's like you can study the customer database, like what decisions they make based on different customer information, and you use this, you learn on this customer database to build an engine that can optimize the channel selection and message selections for someone want to have a digital marketing for the products.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah, it studied like customer behavior in the past and give the predictions based on the product's information to get the to optimize the result. Because Indigen, it has one advantages for this company is because it has a lot customer database. So they use this database as their asset, and they want to.
What's in this customer database? Is it names? What are we talking about? Names of people?
Yeah, like the what kind of products they buy. Like this customer, we know their age, like symptom they have, like if they have this sort of issue, where did they purge to the product message and purchase the product at the end. So we studied their behavior journey based on this historical database.
Okay, well.
So
thank you.
When a new product come and we can match this new products with products that have been purchased before. Like what kind of people will purchase this kind of product and by how do they purchase it? So we just start it and give a match. And find the best channel and message this new product should use for their digital marketing, because this way has a best solution in the past.
I'm not sure. This is a little bit confusing. You're also creating a team logo?
Yeah, actually I create the logo.
For who? For your,
For our team.
right, okay, yeah.
Our team is like outsources analytic team.
Okay, yeah, that's probably too much information. Let's just focus on the result for the client, okay? Developed engine to help sales teams optimize marketing messages, supported or informed by customer demographics and purchasing history. Collaboration with 10 to conduct background research, presentation slides, and reports.
Yeah, it's not just marketing message. We also optimize the channel to carry the message. We need to choose the channel first, and then because different channel has different messaging, like if, for example, for Instagram, many people post pictures or video. For TikTok, it's many like carry videos as their messages. So based on different channels, we have different way to optimize message as well, because the platform is different.
So all I did was just add channel selection. So that should solve that concern. And is this also with Columbia University?
Oh yeah, it is a capstone project.
All right.
I think these two projects is quite similar, to be honest. Both of these projects are creating some engine to optimize the marketing campaign.
Okay.
But for the capstone, it's like you build a real model engine. But for the second project, it's more like a concept. You build a prototype, but not a real engine.
Okay. And so this is in progress. I would say this incoming strategic consulting intern. If you haven't started yet, if you're going to send your resume, start your sending your resume now, I would call this incoming strategic consulting intern. And then I would say, anticipate, and what you anticipate to do. Anticipate supporting teams to do what? Any idea, anything at all? Do you know anything about the team or their area of focus? Can you ask any more questions?
Yeah, ask the people who assign the intern, and she said she cannot provide me any more information at this point. But if I want to start my intern earlier, she can help me to do that. And
yes, I would try to start sooner.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure why you benefit by waiting an additional 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we don't know what to say here.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like that's not helpful to you.
Okay.
What's going on here? What's going on? No. What are we at here? 11-point font.
It's because I have too small net margin. I adjust the margins before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's margin.
I don't think we're done revising things yet. So you might play around with, can you make it a normal margin? If you were to fix all the formatting issues here, could you return to a normal margin or not?
Yeah, of course I can return to a normal margin.
But first, let's just figure out the language that we want to use. So try to get your assignment as soon as possible for Deloitte, because we're actually not trying to use, we're trying to use that experience in your job hunt right now. We're trying to
Okay.
brand you now. We're not trying to brand you in July. We want to brand you now. And so let's not, if you can start sooner, then you need to start sooner. And then try to figure out, you can find out a little bit more about what the result here would be. That would be helpful. Maybe by talking to people, maybe just by reviewing your notes from your experience. That could be helpful. I think this is fine. I think we're fine here. I think we need to try to be comfortable with some sort of number here. I'm not sure if it's 10%, 5%, 30%, but I'd like to get some sort of number, some metric here. Otherwise, you don't really have a result or a story. So I'd like you to try to guess a number and just be able to explain it if someone asked. That would be great. And then dashboard, just to be more clear about the language there. I'm not exactly sure what language you want to use there. And then here, kind of what the goal was. Is that going to say, how, what, or does this kind of thing save 10%, 20%? I mean, if you think that it could double, if you think it could easily save them 50% of their marketing costs, then you could say 20% and just say that's your guess. Because you knew they were spending, maybe you knew they were spending $1 million already, and you think that maybe they'd only spend 500,000. Well, then your savings would be 50%. Do you think you could think about that?
Yeah, I think so. Because for some similar engines that's already released online on their official websites, they should have that number, like how much we can save for you and how many time we can save for you by using these tools.
Yep. And then also think about this market size here, how big that might be, so we can get some numbers there.
Yeah, may I put the total addressable
Yep.
market for the whole company here?
The whole business of healthcare technology consulting, however you want to define that.
Okay.
How do you define what they do? What do they do? Because healthcare technology consulting is quite big. So what piece of that pie are they working for? Or do you just want to use the whole thing? That's fine too. How big is the opportunity for Indegene? I don't know. Maybe you have an idea. And then if it's August of 2022, we need to say that's to present because you're still working on it.
Yeah, skill claim domain expert.
All right, so I'm going to save this and send it to you. And then when you're done, when you're ready, send me your next version, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this call and I will send you an email now, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
And I actually have an extra question.
Yeah.
Like for this complimentary session, do I need to pay for it?
No, complimentary means free.
Oh, okay, okay. I
I'm
got it.
trying to, I want for all of my students, I'd want them to get to a satisfactory version of the resume, and I don't want to charge you for that.
Oh,
Additional, okay?
thank you so much.
No problem. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. I will join
Tonight.
the, yeah.
All right.